Okay, in our last video, we created the hub, and now we're going to be upgrading the hub and getting started on our equipment workshop and getting some resources by creating some portable miners. Now, in order to do that, we need to find and mine some iron. I went ahead and did the calculations for you to make it a little bit easier on how much you need to mine. Now, in order to do these upgrades, we're going to need at least 103 ore, which we will then convert into 103 iron ingots. Out of that 103 iron ingots, we will create a minimum of 52 iron rods and 24 iron plates. We want to craft a workshop, 3 portable miners. Actually, let's make that 4 portable miners. And we want to upgrade the hub twice. In order to do that, we're going to need a lot of iron, but it's going to give us some rewards, such as 3 inventory slots, a personal storage box at the hub. The first upgrade is going to give us the access to the portable miner and the equipment workshop. And then the second upgrade is going to give us access to the smelter, power line, copper ore scanning, and access to copper ore recipes, such as the ingot, the wire, and the cable. We'll also have our first biomass burner added to the back of the hub, which will give us the opportunity to produce electricity. So without further ado, let's get started. Once again, we're going to press V and scan for that iron ore. As we know, that iron ore is back here in this direction. Once you get to a node, you will be able to determine what kind of a node it is by hovering over the base of the node. In this instance, it is a normal node, but the iron coming out of the top is pure, meaning when we mine it, we will get a lot more from the top than we will from the base. Let's go ahead and take this off as well. Get this pure iron ore. And if you remember, we need at least 102. Let's aim for maybe 125, 130 just to be safe. So the rest of this, we're just going to mine manually by hand by just looking down and pressing E. You can see the number in the left below the hints, which is totaling our number of ore in our inventory. We'll let this go for a few seconds. All right, there we go, 130. Now let's head back to the hub, and we want to smelt all 130 at our crafting bench. In order to do that, just select on iron ingot, which is the recipe. And we can see here that there's 130 relevant items, which is the iron we just mined. There are 2 ways to do this. You can press and hold with your mouse button. We don't want to do that. You can also do the space bar, which is a much easier way, which automatically toggles that off and on. And we're just going to wait for it to smelt all of that iron all together. It's been about a minute and mine is still going. This is a good opportunity maybe to stretch, get a glass of water. This also illustrates exactly why we want to automate this in the future. We don't want to have to sit here at the crafting bench and do this ourselves over and over again. So that's what we're working towards here. We're working towards automating this as much as possible. Okay, we've got all of that finished. We have our 130 iron ingots. Let's go ahead and create what we needed, which was the 52 rods and the 24 plates. We'll start with the 24 plates. You'll notice here when you hover over it, you can see what the standard recipe is. There are alternate recipes that you can unlock later in the game, but for now, we only have access to the standard recipes, and that's 3 iron ingots for 2 plates. Okay, there's the 24 plates. Next, let's do the 52 rods. I'll go ahead and make 55 rods just because. And I'll add a few more iron plates on top of that just for good measure. Okay, there we go. If we click this sort button in our inventory, that's going to automatically sort things for us. I'm actually going to get rid of these hog remains and some of this raw quartz that I found randomly. We'll use that later. So we're going to put these into our storage box. But wait, we don't have access to the storage box yet. So what we're going to do is upgrade the hub by adding those 10 iron rods that we need in order to upgrade it. To do this, you can either click and drag from your relevant items, click and drag from your inventory, or if you double click, it's just going to automatically add those 10, and we can click that upgrade hub button. You see here that we have access to a personal storage box, and that's where we're going to place these items and resort. Now, the next thing we want to do is go back to this terminal. We are at tier 0, and we want to do hub upgrade number 2. That's going to get us access to all of these things that we talked about before. We're going to select that as our next milestone. Lo and behold, we already have what we need, those plates and rods. So let's just go ahead and put those in there and upgrade the hub once more. After doing an upgrade, it's usually a good idea to interact with the hub terminal once more and go ahead and select your next milestone, which we will do. We're not ready to do anything with that milestone yet, so don't add any of those relevant items at this time. Next, we need to create an equipment workshop. We already have access to that based off of our upgrades. So if we press Q and go to the production tab, click on equipment workshop. Let's go ahead and add this equipment workshop. I don't want to add it out back by the biomass burners because we're going to need access to those later. So maybe let's add it around front. Right around in here is fine. You'll notice that if you are trying to overlap it with something and it's red, it will say that it's encroaching on that clearance. So we'll just put it tightly up against this. And there we have it, the equipment workshop. Through the equipment workshop is what we're going to interact. And this is how we will create our 4 portable miners that we need. Select the portable miner, press the spacebar, and wait for it to create 4 in your inventory. Each of these will take up 1 inventory slot each. Okay, there we have it. We have created exactly what we need in order to progress even further and semi-automate the collection of resources. That's going to be it for this video, but in the next video, we're going to gather some of that copper, create some of those power lines, and really begin that automation process of collecting the ore without us having to physically be there. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video where we will move to hub upgrade number 3 and create some of that copper material.